Hi, I'm Amy, and this is A-Star Reads, and today I'm going to do the BookTube Backstage Tag. I was tagged in this by Liz from For Booking Out Loud. If you don't know, she's someone I've been championing the whole way through this BookTube process because we kind of started around the same time. I found her and she found me, and it's been happily ever after ever since. Liz is someone whose opinion on books I highly respect, and I feel like she has such a great variety of books that she does read, so I'm constantly looking to her for new ideas, and then she just has such a wonderful, pleasant personality. And luckily, because we've done some buddy reads together, I've really gotten to know her a lot better, and I can tell you that she really is as wonderful as she comes across on her videos. So if you've not had a chance to check out Liz, do so. Do so now, and come back to this afterwards. So the Backstage Tag was originally created by Rainer from Rainier Books, and if you haven't had a chance to check out his tag, the original one, do so because it gives you a lot of insight as to why he decided to do this tag. It has a lot to do with looking at the process behind making these videos, and then also looking at technology and how that's changed and how it's influenced our lives. And I thought it was fascinating. It was a great video, and I'm excited about doing this tag because there's some interesting questions here. Some questions that I'm excited about and some questions that might show you how bad my taste is when it comes to media. And I have to warn you, I will look down occasionally to look at my notes, but you know, then look away when I do that. It won't bother you. Okay, number one, what camera do you use for your videos? So I use my iPhone, and luckily I just recently got a new iPhone. I've been using an iPhone 5SE. Yes. I've been with the 5SE for many, many years, and I've never been one to really like to upgrade phones. It's just not something I've ever cared about. However, since I use my phone for my channel, I finally got around to the idea that this might actually be a good thing. You might get some better video footage. When I vlog, I like to take some pretty pictures and zoom in and things. My iPhone 5 did not take very good vlog videos. So I decided now's the time to upgrade, and I did, to a 12 Pro Max super fancy phone, way fancier than I can handle. And I found that the issue is that it's so fancy that my computer can't handle the quality of the videos. So I've had to like go into this phone and downgrade the quality of these videos so many times so that my computer and my program that I use to edit can actually recognize the videos. It was such a painful transition for me because I like to be able to go and have my process. Hey, just had to chase my dog down. She decided she heard something and she needed to run after it. Okay. She's back. A little pain in the butt. Okay, so the transition between my iPhone 5SE and the 12 Pro Max was really painful. And that's why I rarely ever upgrade my technology, because I can do it. My desire to be that tech savvy is just not there. I taught myself how to edit videos, and that was, you know, like a means to an end. And I enjoy editing videos, but I've never wanted to teach myself how to use Photoshop, which I'm sure would increase the quality of my videos. Technology and I have this strange relationship. We know that we have to coexist, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. For comparison's sake, this is the old phone that I used to film with. Little teeny phone. And that's the old camera, and this is the new phone that I film with. Giant. Look at all those. Look at all those. Question number 2. Speaking about filming and being your own director, do you have a favorite film director? And I'm totally gonna cheat with this one because I'm gonna say my brother. My brother's AJ, and he is working to become a famous director in Hollywood. And he's actually very, very talented. And I know that as a sister, it's my job to say that, but it's also true. I feel like my brother has a talent for this, and I can't wait to see where he goes. He also has a great support system. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and I'm excited because he has this new project coming up called My Monster and I. And it's about this young girl who has like this monster under her bed, and confronting this monster and dealing with her fears is supposed to help her confront the abuse in her family. So if you'd like to check it out, if you'd like to know more about this project my brother is doing, I'm going to link the Instagram account for My Monster and I, and I hope this project comes out really well. I'm really excited for my brother. I can't wait to see where he goes. It's very, very exciting to watch somebody else's process in something that I do, like doing videos for this, but I don't want to make a career out of it. So it's nice to be able to like live vicariously through him. Okay, question number 3. What microphone do you use and what program do you use to edit your videos? I'm using this, a Shure SHURE MV88. and it looks like this, but it has this little muff that comes with it. Yeah, I really like it. It works well for vlogging because you can easily hold your phone and have this little teeny microphone in it. It has fallen out a couple of times, you know, like when I've put it in my pocket or something, when I've been vlogging around, especially when I've been doing my travel channel. I put my camera in my pocket with this in it, and it's fallen off and I've had to go search for it. So that's not pleasant, and that's my fault for being careless. I like it. It works well. I use Adobe Premiere Elements 2019 editor, so I haven't upgraded. I know that the monthly subscription is a lot better, has a lot more options, but I'm cheap, or at least I haven't been willing to put a bigger investment into this. Originally, when I first started my travel channel, I looked for a free editor, and I used Shotcut, which I thought was really adequate for a beginner, someone who's just learning how to edit, because it was very simple to use. There wasn't a lot of things that were too difficult to understand on that editor. The only problem was I was very limited in what I could use because it was free. So I did purchase the Adobe Elements 2019, and I haven't upgraded since. And maybe at some point I will, but it suits my purposes for the moment, and it's very user-friendly. So I don't have any issues, and I can figure things out fairly easily with it. I haven't gotten as creative as I probably could, but maybe someday. Question number 4. Do you remember the first record that you bought or received as a gift? So, I am old. And I come from a long line of horrible memories. So, no. But I will say that I remember when I was a kid having records, and I know that this doesn't necessarily mean just physical records, but I'm thinking physical records. I remember having Disney records. I don't remember for what Disney movies they were for, but we did have those. But what I actually remember the most was my dad's records, because my dad loved to play records. And so his favorites were like Pink Floyd and Def Leppard and Alice Cooper, and those were some of his favorites. But my favorite that he owned and he played often and that I loved to hear was Earth, Wind & Fire. So the greatest hits of Earth, Wind & Fire, I'm still a huge fan. I don't know if I'd call it a guilty pleasure, but maybe I would nowadays. Great dance music. I love to sing to it, but I do remember listening to that album a lot. And that was the one I probably always asked Dad to play because I loved it so much. Question number 5. How do you prepare for your videos? Do you use talking points, a detailed script, or do you just talk? So I have never been a detailed script person. Even like in school when you do speeches, I don't prepare, or at least I have an outline, but I never have been the person who practices a speech to make sure the time is correct or anything like that. And that may be foolish, but I've always done fairly well at speeches. So like it's worked for me so far, and I can usually adjust my speech to make sure it works within the time period that I have. I would be much more successful with an off-the-cuff speech than trying to memorize a detailed script, because I can memorize. It's just that I will focus so much on making sure I say the right thing that I end up stumbling over what I'm supposed to be saying. And so it's better for me if I just wing it. Now, when it comes to these videos, I have started writing down notes. And it's not like I actually often use the notes when I'm recording. It's more that the process of writing down the notes refreshes my mind of the things I want to say, so that when I go to say it, I don't have to edit 30, 40, 50 minutes of me stumbling over my words, which still happens often. I still have to edit a lot. I probably hyper edit, but that's because I can. And I want it to sound good. So yes, I make an outline. I even write notes, but it's more to prepare my mind to know what to say once I start filming. But once I start filming, unless I'm looking at like the actual verbatim of what I need to say it's a question, I rarely use my notes. I still edit a lot though, so it's not like it necessarily cuts down on editing time. Okay, question number 6. TV shows have become the thing of our time. What are your favorite TV shows ever? Name a maximum of 3. So this is obviously where I'm going to express my sophisticated taste to you, and you're going to be wowed at how incredibly intelligent and smart my choices are. Or you're just going to be disappointed, because my 3 favorite shows that Cece, stay over here. You stay here. going off again. These are shows that I will watch over and over and over again and not get tired of them, and have watched over and over and over again. Mostly they're shows that I can watch and they either make me feel better or they make me laugh. Feel good shows. Yeah, feel good shows. These are my feel good shows. So the first one is Sex and the City. I watched Sex and the City so many times. I've watched it with my aunt when she was in the hospital. I've watched it to make me laugh when I'm depressed. Like this is the show that I would go to every single time I was depressed or feeling down and just binge watch it because it always made me feel better. It was just funny and I loved the characters. I know there are problematic moments in this show, but it's indicative of the times, and that's not necessarily a good excuse, but it's the reality. And I just loved it so much. For so many years, Sex and the City is one that has brought me a lot of joy and comfort. The second one is one that I still talk about on here because I'm still working through my third or fourth or fifth round of it. I'm not sure, but that's the Gilmore Girls. I love the Gilmore Girls. To me, it's very seasonal. The fall is Gilmore season, and I like to put this on while I'm cooking or while I'm doing things and just enjoy some good laughs because it's hilarious. There's something about the mother and daughter relationship I love because I have a very close relationship with my mom. It's just something that feels good. And the last one that I want to talk about is The Office, the US version, because I'm not a huge Ricky Gervais fan, but I love the US version so much. I've seen it 5-6 times, and that is one that I will continue to watch over and over again. I never get tired of it. So I'd also like to do a couple of honorable mentions because these are shows that I kind of was like, I was questioning those three choices versus some of these ones. So I'm just going to say them because you'll be even more appalled at my taste in shows. I've already gone this far, might as well continue. I love New Girl. I've watched New Girl many times. It's another one of those warm fuzzy shows. Downton Abbey, there's absolutely a soft place in my heart for those British historical shows. As you know, Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite miniseries of all time. And so Downton Abbey absolutely needs to be watched more by me. In fact, I need to go back through and watch that one again. Grey's Anatomy. Pretty much every episode makes me cry, and I do love that one. I know it's dramatic and pretty ridiculous sometimes, but I like it. And finally, one that is the ultimate feel-good show, and that's the Great British Baking Show. I don't get tired of that one, and it always makes me feel so good because it's one of those competition shows where people are actually nice to each other, which I love because I hate all the other ones. All those competition shows where everybody's so mean to each other and talk shit, and I don't like that. I love people to be sweet and kind, and there might have been some moments of drama, but there weren't that many, and everybody just wanted to work together, and there's so much love there. Question number 7. What kind of BookTube videos do you prefer to watch and why? Reviews, wrap-ups, vlogs, book hauls, tags, etc. I don't have any specific videos that I prefer over others. I mean, I love TBR games, and that's probably my biggest binge. That part of the month, I love watching the TBR games. But when done well, I like vlogs. I love... Hey! You guys, shut up. They stopped. Okay. But I like vlogs when they're done well. I really love wrap-ups because wrap-ups really give me an idea of what a book was like for the reader and whether or not I should be adding it to my... Hey! Whether or not I should be adding it to my TBR list. Tags are fun because you learn more about the actual booktuber. There's not really any types I don't like. I don't watch book hauls too much just because... No, sometimes I'll watch those too. There's not really anything I won't watch. I'm pretty excited as long as the video sounds interesting to me and I like the booktuber, I'll watch it. One thing I've been watching a little more of lately are sprints because I like to have that moment where I'm just focused on reading the book. So I don't always listen to all the commentary in the sprints, so I might mute it. I do listen to some of it, but once it comes to the sprints, it's nice to just feel like you're sprinting with someone else, and then it gives me that moment of I have to focus right now because the sprint is going. Sprints are strange, are kind of strange, but I'm enjoying them lately. One thing which isn't a booktube-ish, but is for my books that I love, are those ambiance YouTube videos, like Cozy Rain and all these different ones where you have like a scene, the sound of the rain, and then like the crackling fireplace. I do play those all the time when I read. I really like those. So those aren't really booktube, but they're booktube friendly. Question number 8. Watching TV was probably a part of all of our childhoods. Yes. These years it has become less popular. What kind of media user are you? Well, YouTube. And in fact, I was never really a YouTube user before, but I hit it, and I hit it hard. And I watch a lot of YouTube. I do watch streaming, but now that I'm really into BookTube, I don't even like look at my Netflix as much, or my Disney Plus, or all those different streaming channels that I have, which I love. But I watch YouTube all the time. Like, I don't mean like I only watch YouTube, I don't do anything else with my life. I just mean like when I go to watch something, it's gonna be YouTube. I have so many I have to catch up on. I'm always behind. So I do like streaming though, especially like I said, Gilmore Girls I'll watch when I'm cooking or what have you. I also listen to audiobooks fairly often. Not as much as some other audiobook users, but I like to listen to them in the car, when I take my dog out to the walk here in the woods, and then when I'm cooking, I do like to listen to audiobooks. One thing I used to listen to all the time and I don't listen to anymore because of audiobooks are podcasts. I used to consume a lot of podcasts. And with that, I started listening to Radiolab with Jad Abumrad and Robert Coleridge. And now Robert Coleridge has retired. But that show I loved so much that I actually went and saw them live one time, and it was fantastic. So I listened to that. I listened to a couple other things. And I haven't listened to any of my podcasts lately. So that's something I got to get back into and take a break from the audiobooks so I can actually listen to all the podcasts that I really enjoyed. So that's it. That's my media consumption, really. It's YouTube nowadays. it's YouTube. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. And I actually didn't prepare channels to tag, but I will tag Ruby Huber because she's someone who has been recently following my channel and I've started following hers. She actually reads a huge variety, which I appreciate because I've gotten a lot of suggestions from her, and I like hearing her opinion because she doesn't always necessarily sugarcoat everything. She really lets you know what she thinks about the book. So if you have a chance to check out Ruby Huber, I'm not sure, apologize if I got that wrong. If you've not had a chance to check out her channel, I will link her information in the description box below. So if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe now so that you can see more of my tag videos, because I have a few others I need to do, and hopefully I get those out soon. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.